Hi there, welcome to episode 3 of Barbell Meditations. This is a little introduction I'm doing to my new show. I don't really know exactly what it is. This initially was going to start as a little bit of an opportunity for me to market my PT, and very quickly it's evolved into something else, and honestly I'm quite passionate about it, and it's definitely scratching a creative itch that I've had for a while. I'm not perfect at this, but I am passionate about talking to interesting people, and that's exactly what I'm doing. It's not an interview. I don't interview people. I just set up the camera and do what I love to do, and I like it, and that's enough for me. If you want to join me on this journey and you think you want to give this a listen, maybe there's something in it for you. We have some really interesting deep chats on this particular episode as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Today's guest is Michelle Hans. She runs a podcast and she runs her own clothing line. She's got a really cool story, and generally she's just a bit of a badass. She balances all that with being a mum, and she just lives life a little bit differently. She really sees the world in an interesting way, and I had a really amazing time chatting to her. She's been someone that I've been looking up to a lot recently, having started my own journey in a similar vein. So yeah, sit back, have a little listen, have a cup of coffee if you want, put it on while you're working, I don't care, whatever you want to do. Enjoy. Took to America, did you say?
Yeah, so I've done quite a bit of America. I've just come back from Florida though. It's like being a little kid again. It's amazing.
What's the did you go to the touristy places? Because I want to know about Florida, where it's like is it just mad? Is it full of mad people?
Yeah, I mean America is, isn't it? It's a bit screwed. That's like a real general assumption, but I feel like in America it gives you hope that you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like it's like, go America.
Yeah.
You can do anything, land of opportunity. But then when you get there, you're like, it's so messed up in so many ways.
Yeah, and I've got like this thing in my head at the minute, and I'm really like into researching neoliberalism and the history of neoliberalism.
Okay.
I've been deep diving into it, and it's kind of like why things are a little bit mad. And America was first, wasn't it? But it was Thatcher and Reagan, and then they completely deregulated things, so to the point where you weren't allowed to advertise to children because it's really bad for people, but then they were like, no, profits first, and that's really where the world's gone, and America is so like that, isn't it? It's profits first, so you can be really well off, you can do really well in America if you've got a bit about you, but it's just scary because if you can't, you're left on your own.
Yeah, I feel like, have you ever seen the American adverts for like healthcare?
Yeah, I've also seen just how many adverts they have.
Oh, is my head supposed to be off the end?
I'd shuffle down.
Shuffle down. Like, we're just when they say, oh, this can cure this, and then the side effects are like 3,000.
Yeah. Why is
that? That's like surfing arms. Like I'm sounding like I'm a pro, but you made it look well easy.
It's just my surfing
arms. Also, this is a very dangerous position for a woman of my age.
I feel like after last weekend, you and Rose are bonded for life.
Yeah, I feel like this is
on camera. I didn't put it online.
You did get it on camera.
I caught the end of the conversation where Rose was talking about queefing. She genuinely thought you queefed.
Yeah, because I when I got in the car with Tom, I was like, when I say queef, I was like, I don't even know what queef is, but it was actually a fart. I feel like a fart is more socially acceptable.
One of the things I'm like always interested in is like where people come from and what you like at school, but like what's your relationship like? What's your family like?
This is like therapy that you don't pay for.
I am, but like yeah, I think a lot of what makes up who I am is my family, and that's a big thing. I'm always interested to see like you know, when you speak to someone, they tell you something about their family or the way where they're at school, and you're like, oh, that's interesting, and that could answer why you're a little bit like that.
Oh.
Do you ever think about things that way?
Yeah, totally. And I've been doing a lot of deep diving into like why, like purpose at the moment. Like, why do I do what I do, and why have I done all the things that I've done? And that makes you look at your childhood.
Have you ever done therapy?
No.
No, neither have I.
Because I'm a bit of a believer, and I know this is a bit wrong, but like I like working things out on my own.
Yeah.
I think I'm quite clued up into like why I do certain things and things that might have affected me in my past. But I'm also a little bit like, therapy, I think, is great for people that don't really know.
Do two more.
But I don't know, I just feel like therapy would acknowledge what I think I already know, and then it's down to you to move forward, isn't it?
And I think if you have a certain amount of humility and you're willing to go, what's my problem there? Like,
yeah,
you know, when there's been times in my life where someone's kind of come to me and gone and said, you haven't behaved correctly there. And this is one of my points of personal pride, actually, is I'll go, my first port of call is to go, oh, maybe I did, or maybe I did fuck up there, or...
Oh, okay.
And I think that is something to it. There's people who can look in on themselves and go, maybe I should have a little think about how I behave, or where's this coming from?
Yeah.
And I think I can do that because I'm on your side. I've never thought about therapy. I think given enough time, I can sit with myself.
Yeah. And figure it out.
And figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're also going to be, you're quite keen on being an actress, weren't you? So
yeah.
So maybe that is part of it. It's where you've got to open yourself up to do that, right?
Oh, like I would 100% say to anyone, if you want to find yourself, go on an acting course. There is nothing that will make you find out who your true self is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have like a moment where you got hit, where you got slapped in the face and you're like, oh shit, this is what I'm like?
Daily. Yeah, daily. I remember I had this acting coach, well, just to precede, is that the right word? I'm also terrible with words, but...
Proceed, yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Growing up, I was the shyest kid, to a point where my parents were really worried. I didn't speak to anyone, I'd just cry at anything. And I had to be put into private school because I was really struggling at school.
Yeah.
And then at school, again, I was really quiet, but I was always not the class clown, but I always got on with everyone. And I think, looking back now, that's a trait I've got from my dad, is that in a social situation, I can talk to most people, which is weird because when I was little, I just didn't talk to anyone. And then high school, I kind of didn't really find my feet, but I love sport. Sport was the only thing that got me out of who I was. And then I just couldn't really relate to a lot of people at school, and I was a daydreamer. And looking back now, I've kind of with help from friends, diagnosed as ADHD. A girls mask it.
You're kind of telling me this, and I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm the same. Daydreaming bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always away somewhere else, and I haven't diagnosed it, but I don't believe in. It's very fashionable to say ADHD or autism or something, but I think there is a spectrum that everyone's on, and I would have to say, based on like my TikTok knowledge, that I fall into that kind of spectrum where there's a lot of stuff where people are going, if you're ADHD, you do these things. I'm like, God, a lot of those things are me.
But it's also like, my friend calls it a pyramid. She's like, it's one of those things where once you've got it, you start to gravitate towards people that also have it because you're very similar in personality types. Yeah. So she was like, she diagnosed everyone that she meets, and she was like, yeah, you definitely have it. I was like, super.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the acting was a little bit of a cry to be like, I don't know, seen, I guess, because you get to become someone else.
Why did you? So you wanted to be seen because you didn't fit in at school and you felt like you were on your own?
I don't know, I felt like I was quiet, but, well, I clearly was quiet, but there was something wanting to get out.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to do that. And so the acting shocked everyone in my family because I finished my geography degree and was like, I'm going to go to Los Angeles and do acting. And even Tom was like, oh, is this it then? I was like, no, he'll be here when I get back.
We had this chat before, didn't we? What type of brain you have. And there is... I'm going through this little weird journey at the minute where I'm a PT and I'm a firefighter, but those are very practical. There is maybe a bit of an art form and a flair to it, but not in a creative sort of way.
Yeah.
And I do have something different to a lot of people around me. I know that there's not something the same. And I think people know that. And I'm trying to explore what that is. And I think it's definitely a little bit of creativity.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking about things that I quite like, things like fashion, and I like art, and I'm really getting into music, and I really like this idea that people have these creative flares. And one of the things that I'm really into at the minute, and I'm really trying to unlock in myself, is flow state, creative flow state, where it's like playful.
Okay.
But the big thing in the way at the minute is that voice in my head, and I'm pretty sure it comes in the form of like teammates in rugby, or maybe even parents. And it's, what are you doing that for? It's that voice. What are you doing that for? I don't know. And I think I don't know if it's. I can just speak as a male of my demographic, sort of saying I had loads of people where it was just like, you just wear the same clothes as everyone else, have a normal hairstyle, don't be the grey man, essentially. I think that's what it's all been about all my life, and I've kind of known deep down that I'm not really. I'm a little bit fancy. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. It's funny how, isn't it? I think you have to get a little bit older to realise, and you avoid stuff. Like I avoided so much that now I'm doing for myself. I'm like, why didn't I do it when I was younger? But I think it is all those voices. I have the confidence now to go, no, I do like that. And people still say, I've had people, even in my life, what are you doing that for? I still hear them. Yeah. And I'm actually surrounded by them. Yeah. But only now do I have the confidence to sort of shrug my shoulders and carry on. But it's those people. It's a funny thing that you have to deal with. Is I had to be an adult to get there. Yeah, I had to be an adult, and it's hard when it's family, because like social. This week did a podcast on that, and about how you sometimes have to let go of friends and move your social circle to people that align with you, but you can't do that with family. You can't just be like, right, see ya, because you don't align with what I do. And I think that's difficult, because the emotional connection to that is like, oh, that's who I am and what I know. Whereas friendship, I'm not saying it's easy to let go of friendships, but I have found that if you surround yourself with people like you, it just elevates. Yeah. Have you ever, and you don't really necessarily have to go, you're not right for me anymore, I'm moving on. No, you just... You take, and this sounds really bad, I felt bad saying this, but you take from people what you need, but without being like, do you know what I mean? Like, I am battling with this, because I want to have genuine relationships. I want to have, it's quite cynical, because the way that you've just kind of put that is, it's almost transactional. Life is transactional. Yeah. But then how do you manage that with compassion? And it's finding that balance, because I've seen people kind of make their life about business, and I guess it depends what you're doing. It depends if your intentions are pure. If you're doing something genuine and you're doing something that you just want to be cool, that's fine. But if you're walking over people and you become ruthless, then your relationships become very disingenuous. Yes, yeah, and that's good for no one. I don't know how to navigate it, I guess. But you are right. You are right, because there's people that
I'm gonna pull the curtain back here. I went on my brother's stag do, and I don't have any mates from school. I mean, I know I'm friendly and I know I get on with people, but I actually don't hang out with people.
Yeah.
This might be a weird thing to say, but Harry is the other way around. He has long-term friends from school, and I remember going on a stag do, and I'm like, a lot of these people haven't really changed at all, and there's some people I thought, I was like, Harry, you really could have moved on. Could have moved on from this person,
Yeah.
but because he's like going on with his life, and I
Uh-huh.
think there was a couple of people where I thought, you know, fair enough if you're loyal,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, do we just sort of say, is this person really adding any value to your life?
Yeah. That's quite interesting in that I'm quite similar in friends that I had at school I'm no longer really in touch with, and even uni. Like my friendship group now has come from this new like motherhood situation, I think, of knowing myself as well, and then I seem to have attracted like-minded people into my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some long-term friends from Tom's friends, and I'm friends with their wives, and they have been long-standing forever, and we had amazing times in our 20s. But yeah, I wonder whether that is like something to do with ADHD that you might struggle to find. I'm not diagnosing you, but do you know what I mean? Like,
Diagnose away.
as you're young, is that quite hard to find true friendships because you're not really being who you are? Like I really feel like I masked a lot as a little kid, and therefore how can you make strong friendships when you're not really
being you?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's a bit weird,
I
isn't
know
it?
what you mean. Yeah, I struggle with friends a lot. And it's weird because you see me with people, and actually I can become kind of the center of things, and I don't mind if there's a group of people telling stories, and you know, I'm good at it. I am actually good at it. I love crack, and I love good gas, as my brother-in-law would say. I like that term. That's Northern Irish. Good gas.
Yeah.
I'm nicking it, but I can't call someone up and go, do you want to go for a beer? I can't do that.
Is that fear of rejection?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, I've been doing some research on it, and I know I'm not the only man that feels like this. I think friendships, as you get older, a lot of men seem to feel this as well.
I reckon it's harder for men. I feel women are really good at just connecting and then going like one level next. Like I would say Tom's the same. Like, you know, you have to force him to sometimes go and play golf with his mates or whatever, because it does. It's like guys just don't go, oh, do you want to go?
And I'm also like kind of this, I'm reminded of this because my brother is brilliant at it.
Right.
It energizes him. He can keep going and keep going and keep going. He can go play golf, then he can go for a beer with his mates, and then he can go work a shift, and he's like schmoozing, and he comes home and he's like, that was a great day. That, I would be crawling through the door if I lived my life like him. And he does extremely well out of being like that.
Yeah.
I'm good at it, but I have to be selective with my energy.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That is another case that's like I think that ADHD suffers with. If you go to a party, or if you have a party, do you love like chatting to people? But then at some point, and I'm really bad for this, at some point I just have to like, my social battery's drained, and I need to go off, and I need to just have chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love being with people and the energy.
Love it.
But then I'm like, well, I just need to sit in a dark corner.
Shall I tell you what I do? Invite people around, I'll cook. I'm in the kitchen, I'm there, and then I'm not interacting. I love hosting. I love being CrossFit coach. I love coaching, I love hosting you here. I love doing this. I love hosting. That's what I love doing. I love providing people with a good time. But don't involve me.
I love that.
Don't involve me too much. I'll dip in, tell a story, and then I'm out. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's very. Yeah, I also like it when it gets to the point of the night where people are a little bit drunk and having deep chats. This is why I quite want to do this, because cut straight to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have there's no way through it. We're gonna talk about, because now you're on my terms, and we're gonna talk about deep stuff. And that's where my energy levels are. I'll talk about ADHD and what type of brain you have and what type of family you have all day long. I genuinely love that type of chat. But you know, when it's like, hi, byes, how are you?
I have impatience for like small talk, and as I've got older, I've got worse for this. In a social situation, especially if I've done events and things, I'll go in and I'll be like, hi, how are you? And if someone's not got like a good story straight away, I'm like, where's the exit? And that's really rude. That's really rude. And I never want to come across like that. But something in me wants to really know something about them and then just catch a vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I sometimes take risks, and what I'll do is I'll ask someone a deep question, or I will tell a self-deprecating story and make myself the butt of the joke.
Yeah, same.
And in social situations, it can work. It can also not land, and everyone's like, that's too much. At work, it works 90% of the time. 10% of the time, people think I'm not serious. And so I've had to take a real step with certain people as part of, I think, this is on me. I have to be serious to a point where they know that I'm here to do the work properly. And then I know previous me would have gone, oh, well, they just don't get me. That's on them. It's not. It's on me.
Yeah, very much the self-awareness.
You have to take responsibility for that a little bit.
Yeah.
Then, you know, they could probably lighten up.
Yeah.
But they are who they are.
Yeah.
And making that realization has made my life much easier.
Yeah.
And it allows me to go, right, I need to go the extra step here. And I feel even the people that get on with me and like me, they know that I'm going to be serious. Maybe as I move up, and it's given me a bit more confidence to take a bit more leadership and stuff like that. That's definitely something I've thought about.
Yeah. In work situations, it's quite hard, isn't it? Sometimes I was always crack the first joke at work, and half of that for me was like a protection thing. Like, I always used to make sure that when I went on site, I would find out who's the joker. Yeah. And I'd go for them, because I would disarm them, because I knew that they're like the alpha male, and that they would come out with a joke either directed at me being the only woman on site or being an engineer. And so I'd disarm them straight away, and then I'd joke, get everyone on my side, and that was my superpower. Yep. I do the same thing. Yeah. Brilliant. And once you got everyone laughing, you're mine. Yeah. And this is something Rose is good at. I think I'm all right at it. I look at a room of people, and I can very quickly understand do you understand the energy? Do you know what I mean? Like the emotional energy, who's in charge, who's not feeling themselves. Yeah. Who do I need to watch myself around? Do you understand the flow of energy in a room? Yeah. Is that ADHD as well, do you think? No, I just think that's good. I think that's good social and emotional intelligence. Like, I think that is, and again, it comes if you put the work in, to knowledge. But I think there's a lot of people that don't and wouldn't. I think it's gut instinct as well, isn't it? Yeah, it's a funny one. Because of work, because of where I work and the type of job that it is, you don't become a firefighter and then move on to another job 3 to 5 years later. Yeah. You start and then you do 30 years. So, and it's also quite a lot like being on a sports team. It's very practical. It's very performance based. You need to show up. You need to deliver for the team. Right. So it's a very dynamic group environment like that. So social interactions are a big part of it. And there are a lot of blunt, describe emotionally people as blunt instruments. And that's because they started the job
at 21 and they've only ever been a firefighter. So you have 45-year-old kids and they've never been checked in a real way by anyone different, because they've all been like that.
All been part of the system.
And now, because they've had 10 years where they didn't hire, and then this was so 15 years ago they stopped hiring for 10 years.
Wow.
And then after 10 years they started taking people on. That's where I came in. But now you're hiring people. A lot of people who have had previous jobs, I got hired when I was 29 and I'd worked in a corporate environment.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of people, I'm on the younger side of things. A lot of people it's 25 and above now. It used to be 18, 20 to 24.
Yeah.
So now you've got a generation of people who are new in the job, but have more life experience. But then this person is really in charge, but he's not a better adult than you.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting sometimes.
Does that scare you that you're in a job that traditionally is like just that job or not? Or do you like, that might have been years ago, but now I don't have to be that job for 34 years?
So do you mean that does it scare me that I'm in it for good now?
Yeah, but are you in it for good? You could definitely come out, can't you?
I think a lot I've known people that have come out. More people are coming out. There is more freedom in it now because the pension was so good, and now they've changed it. The pension's maybe not as tying. So you get some firefighters who are in it for the pension now.
Right. Okay.
And you're like, you're not really in this at all.
Right.
You're not really bothered. Yeah, I like it because I'm quite proud of what I do. I know that seems kind of cheesy, but I actually really like... I have this feeling like I can, therefore I should. Like I was sat at a desk one day and I was like, I can do more than this. I'm mentally and physically capable of doing more. And sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, this is pretty traumatic, but actually I'm quite good at it.
Right.
I'm quite good at it. I won't tell you some of the stuff in detail, but I've seen some pretty grisly stuff and I'm like, I'm actually all right. I'm actually all right with it. I know some people that aren't, and I know that star of the show, my little boy, Kitty intermission. This is where the ad breaks go.
Sponsored by. You need to get sponsored by. What is it? Not Walkers.
Walkers.
What's the
Whiskers?
Whiskers. There you go. Walkers. Whiskers.
Yeah, I love my job, but it's annoying sometimes, but any job is. I also quite like that it is stable and I don't really have to think about it, and I think that's good because of my life. I don't work really.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I work, and I'm quite happy doing it. It's a stable career. Yeah. I get loads of time off. If I take leave, I got 4 on, 4 off, and then I'm back on again. It follows that scheme. So if I take 4 on, 4 off, then I take 4 off, then I've got another 4 off. So you take 4 days off, you got 12 days off.
Oh wow.
And that's why I can do other jobs. I can do this.
Yeah.
But where I was working before, now I'm like, I need to have something creative.
As an outlet.
Yeah.
I feel like I would encourage people more to have that, because you never know where that can go. And I'm finding that now by speaking to all the women that I speak to, it all started with just like a little side project, and then that itch you can't not scratch.
Yeah, that's happening to me.
Yeah.
That's happening to me now. I'd say it's getting to a point where if I don't, it could really negatively impact my mental health.
Yeah.
If I don't do something creative, and I'm getting past the point of giving a fuck what anyone else thinks really. Yeah. I just need to put stuff out and put myself out there. And I'm reading a book by Rick Rubin at the minute. You know Rick Rubin?
Yeah, the music producer.
Yeah,
he's cool.
And his books. I'm audiobooking it. Yeah. 5 hours long. I'm 1 hour in. It's easily one of the best things I've read in a while. Okay. Yeah. I forget the title of it though. It's called something like the creative act, the way of being, or something like that. One of the things he says is ideas come from the universe. They come from everything around us. You have your antenna, and creative people have more sensitive antenna. The idea is going to come. It's just whether you want to act on it.
Accept it. Yeah, I've heard that. It's so true.
And that's how I'm feeling right now. Someone's going to do something like this, and I'm going to be like,
should have done it.
I wanted to do that. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, I'm sick of it now. I've got time. I've got the energy to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think when you're open to things start to fall in line, and the universe has a weird way of showing up with opportunities when you just start on that path. I think he said quite good as well. It's like, I was looking at creators on like YouTube, and there was an interview with him, and I've always been really struggling with, and I think this is like horrible now. Like, what do people want? What do people want from me? What do people want to see? And here's a great one of just saying, just do what you want to do.
Yeah, Coach can come through.
The job will never be.
It was just the most profound part of the conversation, but don't worry about it. No.
Yeah, he talks about like, stop thinking about what other people want, which we do now with algorithms and all sorts, and just start doing what you want to do, and people will align with it.
Yeah, and I think it's like the confidence that I never had before, and I think it's come from maybe other people saying over the time when I was like CrossFit coaching, and I think some people trying to take the piss, some people would acknowledge it and say that it was cool, but they were like, they could acknowledge that I was a little bit weird, a little bit different. I'm like, that's something, isn't it? I can't be like everyone else. I have to be what I am.
But what is everyone else?
But everyone has their own flair.
Yeah.
But they just, and I think you can see it in, I had a conversation with Ash Milson, who I'm going to get on the podcast. Do you know who he is?
Is it Joanne's?
No, that's, there's loads of Ashes.
Oh, right, okay,
So Ash Milson, he's plasterer.
Okay.
Tradie.
Right.
How good is Ash? How much do we love Ash Milson? He's an absolute legend.
Is he at West Leeds?
West Yorkshire.
Right, okay.
And sorry? I'll have a look in a bit. He is one of the brightest personality sparks that I know. He's when he's kind of at a party and he's loose, everyone wants to be his mate.
Ah, so he's an attractive personality.
Right, he's just easy. He's just like buttery smooth with his personality, and he's just the right amount of self-deprecating. And one of these people that like, mate, you could genuinely like go to any career and light it up. You the ultimate personality hire, not to diminish his skills in other things. But
I know, but plasterer, you're like on your own, aren't you, all day?
I know, and I'm like, so
I
spoke to him and I was like, mate, please come on my podcast. He's like, oh, I don't know, I don't come across well on things like that. And I was like, all you need to do is have a chat. Just be you, and you'll be excellent. But I think it's that. I think it's people who have really nice sparks, who have been talked to and had their confidence broken down by others.
Yeah.
And I'm really on a bit of a mission of like kindness and giving at the minute. And it's one of those things I was like, I could give him that. I could give him the confidence.
Oh, hello.
If I could give him the confidence to be like, accept how amazing you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another ADHD of wanting to fix people.
Is it? On that note, you need to warm up again. The warm-up's gone. All right, so what you're going to do is, I don't care how you pick it up. You're going to stand it up. All right, so it's nice and light. Chest goes up, and I really want you to pin your shoulders back.
Oh, it's just terrible. This is the one thing that I'm working on now this year. It's posture.
Posture.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Are you? Yeah.
Like I've got this weird curvature in my back, and it's not It's not like I can fix it by just doing that.
Yeah. I did.
The tree cat.
This is a little trauma from my childhood. You ready for this?
Yeah, go on.
I am by far the tallest out of my mates, and I grew this height at maybe 16.
Oh, wow.
And it was awkward. It was like that, and I was like, and so I didn't want to be tall.
Oh, so
it's only as I'm older, I'm like, this is sick now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's brilliant being 6'4" as an adult, but when I was a kid, I was like this all the time, and I just wanted to be on people's level because I wanted to meet people where they were at. So I went like this, and then I was obviously shy, so I was doing this a lot. And I looked back at pictures of myself, and I still have flexibility in my spine, where I'm capable of really rounding it,
making yourself smaller.
Making myself smaller.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and even worse, if you sit down next to me on a bench and I sit up straight, you notice that all my height's in my torso.
Yeah, you've got really long.
So I'm like. So you'd be like down here, I'm like a giant. It's really weird. I've got a really weird body type. But I had the same thing, like it's kind of this.
Yeah.
And
I don't know where it comes from. Like I think it's a lazy thing. Yeah, like it's just being weak. But
it's a little bit of a strength thing.
I reckon it is actually.
Yeah.
I reckon if I can build strength, it will fix posture, I'm hoping.
Yeah, cool. Well, we'll do a little bit of that as well. Yeah. So it's just for you, like now, if you're capable of doing this, let's do that.
Yeah.
So the strength will come just from being conscious of that. So it's a little bit of mind-muscle connection. All I want you to do is, if I put my fingers there, can you squeeze my fingers? Lovely. So just like have a think. There's a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Sweet. And I wouldn't really recommend that people deadlift like this, but just to teach you and a little bit of awareness of what your shoulders are doing, you're going to go back and down. Okay. And then down. Yeah, cool. Lovely. So you're going to pick it up, both overhands, so keep things nice and even. You can do it like that if you want, but just because we're learning. Back, down, and then you're going to go soft knees, and you're really going to send that stomach through, really thinking about keeping this all the same. Goes down, down, down. Feel that stretch in a hamstring. I only go there. You might go a little bit further, but I just don't want you to lose your back. I don't want you to go down. Get to your end range of motion and then lose it. Okay?
Yeah.
So I want it all to be driven through the hamstrings and glutes. Back down, stomach goes through, stomach, 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 and that's where I've ended. And then I can come back up. I just want you to do 5 reps.
Yeah,
a lot going on there.
Always thought that you were lifting with your arms.
Yeah.
I did with that gym session, which when I turned up to the gym that day and it was just you there and you were like, oh, I'll train you, I was like, oh, shit.
I wanted to get away with it.
Yeah. I was like, I was just going to sit on the bike and pretend to work.
So you can pick it up
start
first. From the top.
Okay.
It's always easier.
You said it was light. The bar's light.
Okay, so put that pencil, pinch the pencil in between shoulder blades.
Yeah.
And then shrug down. There we go. Lovely. All right. Soft knees. There. Keep your knees fixed. Keep your shoulders fixed. And send your stomach over the top. Cool. And then go back up. So you bent your knees. When you've gone down there, you've gone down like that. I want you to go fix there. And really be conscious about keeping your knees the exact same angle. And I want you to, instead of going down like this, I want you to look over the edge. Like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There. Love that.
Oh, yeah, going. I can feel that at the back of my legs.
Yeah, perfect. And back up. We're going to do 4 more reps.
Oh, yeah, I can really feel that.
Just like that. Keep the pencil. Lovely. And back up. Excellent. Soft knees. Keep it there. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And back up. Nice. Do 2 more. Excellent. Well done. I want you to, on this last one, press your big toes into the ground. There you go. Now look over the edge. Look over the edge. Excellent. Well done.
Oh, yeah, that feels
where it's really
supposed
nice.
To. Right, okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Put it down.
I've always felt it elsewhere.
Yeah, it's and it's. Think about what your human body likes to do. Anything that we do, We jump, big toe down, we run, big toe down. That's where we drive power through. So the same kind of applies. We're still doing a little bit of a squat and a hinge. All right, so it's all through the big toe. And then usually it's a really good cue, because when you put your big toe down, your human, the human animal that you are, it like hijacks what's going on. And it really reminds you that this is the right way to deliver power into the ground. That's the way your muscles are built. That's the way that everything's set up to deliver power into the ground, which you are doing, goes through the big toe. At the point that you go back here like that, you're really lighting up your hamstrings, yeah, but also lower back.
Yeah.
So you might be, that's where you might be feeling it. If you shift into there, I'm not saying like go right onto your tiptoes, but just have an active pressure in your toes like that and try and maintain it all the way through. You'll find that actually you do get hamstrings and glutes, but when you want to use your quads as well, really good opportunity to deliver power into the ground through them.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense. There's a lot going on with weightlifting, isn't there?
Yeah. And I love teaching the simpler stuff because it's the hardest stuff to teach.
Right.
Rose is really good at it. She's really, really good. Probably should have got her out with this bit, but she's works a lot with like women, some older women, and they just struggle to do like the hinging and the squatting. And sometimes it's mobility, but I think a lot of people would go, it's all about mobility. It's not. It's a lot about knowing how to move your body effectively, knowing what goes where, having people have a basic understanding of this is how you use the back of your legs. It's really difficult to understand, but it's also because it's the starting blocks. It's the starting to understand how to hinge is like such a straightforward movement to look at, and it's like, well, that can't be complicated, but if you don't know, it's massive. So it's a really difficult one psychologically, because some people get in their heads like, oh, I should just be able to do this. Well, no, like it is hard, and there's time I spent years, I'm still not great at it. It just comes down to having someone show you the ropes and not make you feel silly for it, or just do a hinge. Oh, we can't do a hinge. For that person, it might actually be the most complicated movement in the world. Some people are just not good at it. Some people can't squat. So it's just about helping them understand how to feel what they're meant to feel. And the difficult thing about it is only they can feel it. So
you can't see you can't feel what they're doing.
But I do see things. So like foot pressure, that's a good one.
Right.
When someone's sending their stomach through and keeping their torso in all one movement, and that means, but that was such a good set because you did less range of motion, but you kept all of this the same. So I don't mind that it's there. I don't mind that it's not going all the way down there. I mind that the movement is that. I don't mind that someone's squat is there, as long as they're not going. Which happens, So it's, if you do the movement properly, you'd be surprised how that turns into that, and it's just doing it properly over a period of time. Squats, that, okay, I've only got that, but then you keep doing it properly, and over time, you stretch it out, and that's the mobility.
Do you think people try and like rush it a little bit and don't?
Yes, and I think we have such a fitness culture now, and this is great, but there's, especially if you're younger, these sports are leaving people behind. CrossFit is really guilty of this.
Oh, really?
This is why High Rocks has become popular, but even High Rocks.
High Rocks now, I don't know why, but I'm just a bit like, ugh, High Rocks. And I don't know whether it's like the social media side of things, but it's everyone in like the women especially, like boob tops with, and it's a proper gym top, leggings, everyone looks jacked, and it was sold as something that is inclusive, but doesn't really, I don't know, I probably need to go to an event before judging it, But it's also quite samey, isn't it? I don't know. Is it like the same exercises and everything?
Yeah, so I have a theory on this. I got told this and I actually think I agree with it. I think that we're an anxious society now. I think people, this ties into what I was talking about earlier, about CrossFit being really guilty for this and like moving too fast for people. CrossFit is now
that's perfect for audio.
Yeah, I might just get her to stop that.
Oh, is it Rose?
It's Rose. Yeah,
it's like a neighbour.
I might just get her to stop that. 1 sec.
But you were saying about an anxious. These apples.
Yes, they're apples. Yeah, some of them are going mushy now. Yeah, I think people generally are more anxious in society. So then at the point that you've got CrossFit, and it's asking you to do a snatch, clean and jerk, kipping, gymnastics, handstand press-ups, handstand walks. These skills take 5 years, to really master and get good at CrossFit. I mean, first of all, you need to be young and pliable and the ability to gain strength.
Yeah.
You need to have humility and be bad at stuff, which a lot of people aren't willing to do if they're anxious. They're not willing to go, especially blokes. I've seen blokes come in and are like, this lad, he's not going to like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they're not good straight away.
Yes. And also, some guys, not all guys, don't particularly like women beating them at physical endeavours.
Oh, yeah. And
there is a bit of that.
Yeah.
And you can go to a CrossFit gym and get absolutely smoked by girls if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. And there's a gym culture around guys, and they might feel strong. Come to a CrossFit gym. Yeah, your self-esteem takes a massive hit. So the point that happens, CrossFit as a sport has moved on so far that it leaves people behind and alienates people by its very nature. So then High Rocks comes in and goes, you don't have to think about what you're doing. You know what you're going to be doing. It's going to be a hard workout. You can train for it. All you need to be doing is run, get stronger. You maybe need to do a little bit of squat mobility.
Yeah.
But you can just get a good workout and you can train for High Rocks and you can compete and you can race and you can feel good about yourself. That's where High Rocks has come in. But now High Rocks is doing a thing of now it's becoming elite.
Yeah.
And then it just moves on. So then the fitness culture in itself is being centered around CrossFit and these like intense, highly skilled sports. And then there's people getting left behind and thinking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Where do I fit in?
Yeah.
And they might just need someone to help them hinge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's nothing there for them except for going to a PT.
And then there's the whole going to the gym, which works for a lot of people, doesn't work for my personality type. Like I need to go and have 60 minutes of something intense that someone's putting me through, and then I come out the door. I went to the gym once, fell off a treadmill, and it's because I wasn't concentrating and ended up in A&E. And I love learning new things, but equally have a little bit of anxiety. I think I said this to Connie on the podcast that I think it was like the second session of CrossFit, and I've never done this. This is not my personality at all, but I was in the car park and it was like 5 minutes before a session, and I just drove away and Tom phoned me and he's like, oh, have you missed CrossFit? And I was like, oh yeah, like the doctor's called about Archie's whatever. Complete lie. And I was like, I'm mortified that I lied to him. And he was like, and I told him later and he was like, why did you bail? He's like, that's really not you. Like you've done all these like crazy things. And I was like, I don't know. And I think it is, I felt for my first time really ever, I've always been really sporty and always been quite good at most things. And to go into something as a beginner, as an adult, it's kind of like, but not even just as a beginner, it's not something you can pick up quickly. No. But in my mind it was. It was like in my mind a couple of weeks and I'd be doing like those pull-ups. Yeah. I remember Connie saying, no, it took me like 2 years or something. And I was like, oh, and that's going like 3 or 4 times a week. Yeah. But then going to the gym, I always felt like whenever I did 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the gym, I'd come out and just be like, what did you do? Because you don't know what to do.
No, a lot of people don't.
And I would never have picked up weights because no that's the scary section where men go.
And this shows me like I'm in my own bubble. I don't know a world where I don't lift weights. people
Yeah.
don't lift weights, and it's to me it's just like breathing. But at the same token, I remember I went to the gym and I didn't know what I was doing, but now I'm that guy that I was intimidated by. But it's very, I have to be, this has kind of shaped my little persona as a trainer.
It's like, always just make sure no one's nicking my bike. It's fine.
This is kind of like shaped who I am a little bit. It's like, and this is a wider thing of my personality. I know that I could appear to be the bully. I'm really conscious of
I don't think you come across like that.
I know I don't, and it's a very conscious decision that I make because I could be a bully. I could be a nightmare.
Oh, really?
I could loom over people and could go, I can see how I would be intimidating. So that's why I make myself smaller and I make jokes and I've kind of become a big brother. This is how my coaching persona is like, put an arm around you, it's all right, because I really need to work hard to disarm people, because if I go the other way, my worst nightmare is someone thinks I'm a bully. Yeah. Or if I become dismissive of someone, I'm like scoff at someone, and I just walk around and I've been doing this for 10 years. Yeah. I just walk up to a ring and I know what I'm doing. I pick up a barbell, know what I'm doing. Yeah. So it's like, it becomes a challenge to communicate with people and go, I understand, because it's easy to see how people would think, oh, well, you don't get me. But I actually really work hard to try and get people. Yeah.
I think that makes, I was talking to Tom about this, about coaches and PTs. And I think it's natural to be drawn to similar personalities, but equally, it's like in any job, isn't it? You'll have people that do the job and they're good at the job, but they're not good at that social bit. And actually that social bit, I would say,
it's everything.
Is better than the skill set behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can probably not be the best coach, but if you've got an amazing way of connecting with people, that in essence makes you a great coach.